your name, the book title, and its genre.
Well, my name is Troy E Scoughton, normally referred to as Troy Scoughton Sr. And the title of my book is Do It, Then Talk About It. So that was a saying we used to have in the old neighborhood where I grew up. And it had to do with fighting. It didn't have anything to do with anything that made sense, but it actually sort of applies.
Okay. And in one or two sentences, how would you summarize your book?
The book is basically my life story so far. So I've done lots of stuff. I started out picking oranges and doing yard work and selling newspapers and whatever necessary at 10 years old. And I've been basically employed full-time ever since. So own companies and produce films, and I'm a member of the PGA and all kinds of other good stuff. But basically it's my story so far.
I like that. So far. And if you could choose what readers take away from your writing, what would you hope it would be?
Inspiration. So you're going to be told a lot of times in your life that you can't do something. Generally, and most of the time, that comes from people who have limited talent and skills themselves. And they like to see other people fail. But the truth of the matter is, if you believe yourself that you can do anything, you can.
I like that. And what do you think readers will like most about your writing?
It's very casual. And with the exceptional editorial changes made by the wonderful staff at Borderlands Media, it makes me sound rather intelligent. But the truth of the matter is, I'm a math and physics guy, okay? And so, I took just enough English to meet the minimum requirement of the university to graduate. Probably the most difficult class I took in the physics program was some creative writing course. And I thought I had done a great job, and I ended up getting a B, and it was the only B I got in the whole program. And it was devastating. But I still got a job after I graduated, so that's all that matters.
And you can add author to your list now.
I can add author to the list now, yes.
And how would you describe your process in writing the book?
I was bored. So my lovely wife, who I met here in Las Cruces 49 years ago, was recently ill, quite ill, and we had to go see some specialists in Houston. So we spent about 6 months over there, and I toyed with the idea of doing a biography and never really got around to it. And while we were there, I had lots and lots of time, especially when she was in the hospital, and I was there in the apartment by myself. So to keep from going mad, I wrote this story up. And a whole bunch of really, really lousy film scripts at the same time.
How would you describe the process of writing Do It, Then Talk About It?
I think I would try to remember an era in my life and put myself sort of back in that mindset. So as a kid, I was unsure. My mom was working a minimum wage job, supporting all us boys. I was the oldest, and I felt responsible to help. And so that means you take whatever job you can get, whether it's washing dishes or selling newspapers or cutting yards or counting worms from worm beds into little buckets. You ever wonder how they get 50 worms in each one of those boxes? Well, I'll tell you how. There's a bunch of kids now, probably not kids anymore, but at the time, there were a bunch of kids on their knees all day counting worms into buckets. I did that. Whatever I could do to make a little bit of money to help our household out.
Wow. And what inspired you to write this?
I want other kids in my same situation to realize they can do anything they want to do. So we used to think, oh man, these people are rich because they get to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. I mean, ever. Or they get to go on vacation, or they drive a car that's not falling apart. They're rich beyond their wildest imagination. And I want those kids, no matter where they come from, no matter how destitute their background seems to be, to realize that still in this country today, if you're willing to put in the work, you can truly become almost anything you want. Now, you can't become a major motion picture star. I'm sorry, you're not going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. And you're probably not going to be president either. But you can damn sure serve on the local city council if you want to. Or you could aspire and you could go into the film business, or you could be an engineer, or you could open an own company and be an entrepreneur. Is everybody going to succeed wildly? No. But if you're willing to put in the work, you've got an opportunity. If you don't bet, you'll never win the lottery.
I like that. And what was the most difficult part of writing Do It? Then talk about it.
There were some tough times. I mean, in the neighborhood where we ended up, the situation was set up, and I realized it was done with the best intentions. But the truth of the matter is you were charged an amount based on your income. So my mom made minimum wage, which at the time was $1.60 an hour, and had a whole bunch of kids. So our rent was very low. But if she got a raise or a second job, her rent went up. So the result of that is you get in rather easily, but you can't get out. So you're in a situation where it's, I think, very easily for people to believe that it's hopeless. Okay? But the truth of the matter is, I got out, I'm a high school dropout. Oh, but I have 4 college degrees. How does that work? The truth of the matter is, you can do anything you want. At the time when I dropped out of high school, I had to work. My mom needed the money. My family needed the income. But you just have to read the book to see what else happens after that.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. So speaking of the book,
Yes.
considering certain dates, like, I don't know, October 15th, 2001.
That would be the birth of my first grandchild.
Yeah. Were you in Los?
I was under armed guard in Egypt at that time, going to a non-disclosed location. Yes, my sweet, lovely daughter was at home birthing her first child, and I was not able to be here. But I, at that time, like most other Americans, due to sequences of events, I was angry and I wanted to do something about it. And we did.
And what about your time in Bosnia?
I am not going to talk about that because I can't. But we did some pretty cool stuff over there too. And we ended a really, really nasty conflict. And we did it with minimal impact. So Bosnia 1 was ended with one 500-pound bomb. No, I'm not going to talk about that. And Bosnia 2 was ended with a threat to a diplomat. Isn't
Maybe.
that interesting?
Maybe that could be your book too.
Maybe it will be.
Well, thank you for being here today. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate being here. And I appreciate being nice meeting you.
We look forward to your upcoming book, Do It Then